Okay, I'm just getting set up here. I'm gonna today create another graphic style and get up my restream platform here. Oh, sorry, that was probably really loud. Display. Okay. Here's Illustrator. So today I think I'm going to create two themes and get them posted because I haven't done anything all last week. So let's go ahead and create a new file here. Go 3x3, CMYK, because main stuff I like to do is print format. Alright, so fix all. Okay, so I completely cleared the document so that there's no unused graphic styles or anything in this document, so the document will be really tiny. I didn't ever explain that, but I use this little program called Vector First Aid. I check document and then I go ahead and fix all. What that does is it actually clears all of my panels. I doesn't clear brushes panels for some strange reason, but it clears all the other ones, the swatches and everything like that, because I like to make my own colors and only have the colors that I need in the document. So the first thing I'm going to do, this one's going to be a like punk retro kind of like spray paint graffiti kind of look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a nice text. I title it. So that's going to be my title. I'm going to break this text apart. I could have just used the vector first aid for that. I'm going to find a font that looks nice with that. I try to use fonts that are possibly in the style that I want them at. I don't ever outline the font because I want you to be able to find what I used. Don't always use actual registered fonts. It actually says that one's for personal use, so I can't even use it on my website. Let's go find more fonts. Why isn't it? Alright, let's just find something else. Because I'm not going to use something that I can't even display, even though I'm not selling the font or selling the item with the font or anything. I just don't want to. Just want something like that, though. I know one that's good. Okay. So we're going to use this here, called Wolf City. I like that one. So the primary layer, I'm going to pull out my graphic styles, and I'm going to pull out my appearance palette. So above the characters layer, I'm going to come in here and delete the fill on both of them, apparently. In fact, what I'm going to do is just make this easier. I'm going to group it because it's going to be applied to the group. I'm going to go ahead and create a fill. This one's going to have a gradient. I think I'm going to do a metallic look to it. So let's go ahead and apply the gradient. So it applied to the part. We're going to rotate it exactly 90 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and select in here, get the gray, pull the black to where it's almost there, pull that up, and then pull a little bit more black down here. I'm going to re-pull white over here. that looks good. And then what I'm going to do here is then actually pull this black down here, pull more gray, and I'll pull another white at the top here. So we'll just get rid of that gray and we'll just pull another white. All right, and it's applied to the whole thing, so let me go ahead and copy that because I want to have whatever graphic style I do here, I'm going to put it in the graphic style palette. I'm going to name this spray paint medium, so M for medium. And then I'm going to apply it to this one down here. So this is what it'll look like in the long run. This is what it's going to look like when it's grouped. So I'll have an ungrouped and a grouped version. But I mainly want the grouped one to look good. So I'm going to go ahead and put my gradient palette back away. I'm going to duplicate this. And in my gradient palette, on the bottom one, we're going to offset path. And it's going to be 2 point. No, maybe 1 point. Yeah, that looks better. And then we're going to invert it. So I'm just going to actually swap the color around. That looks great. Gives me a chrome effect. And then what I'm going to do is the 3 lines up here, redefine. So then it applies it on the one that's above. And that way I know that I'm updating my original theme. Then I'm going to come in here back to this group. I'm going to duplicate this one again. Bottom one, I'm going to change the offset path to 2 point. And we're going to turn it black. So this is what I was saying where there's no color swatches. So I'm going to, it's a gradient swatch it wants to make. I'm going to hit no fill. And it should be able to give me a color. But oh, there we go. Then this will be 100% K. And I don't know why it didn't type anything. There it goes. Alright. So we want 100% black. And in fact, I'm noticing that I'm going to want these rounded. So I'm going to come in here and select round. Looking good. But instead of the offset path being 2, I'm going to do 3 point. Looking better. And then I can hit update. And now it's updating the one above. So I can see that it's working. And then I want a I want there to always be something behind it. What do I want behind it? I think I'm going to do a light blue. Okay, so now, instead of fills, now this is where I'm going to move to strokes. I'm going to duplicate it because I'm going to do 2 strokes. So, the first thing I need to do is also set this color. And then I always need to make sure it's checked off as global. Then I can update to make sure that it's updating up there. Then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to do a light blue, but I'm going to do really light. Actually, let's keep this a strong blue. Strong cyan. Alright, and that one, I'm going to do the same thing, rounded. Ooh, looking good. And then do it again, but now, instead of being that solid color, I'm going to pull out my color palette here. I'm going to lighten it. Let's go 80% of that color. I just bring it off, just offset it just a little bit, duplicate it again. I'm going to offset a little bit more. But then this time, I'm gonna go effects, stylize, no, blur? Yeah. Gaussian blur. Oh, radiant, I want Gaussian blur. Blur, Gaussian, oop. There we go. Now it's gonna look like it's airbrushed on. But that airbrush doesn't look like spray paint. It just looks like glow and halo. In fact, I want that just a little bit more glow out. So it's going to be at 14 now. And then, not distort. I want to add texture. Kind of like that, but just the one color. Let's just look through this real quick. Yeah, there we go. Duplicate it. And this one, instead of having the paper noise, I'm going to drop that. Yeah, that worked. And then this, the opacity needs to be multiply. Looking good. Alright, so this is going to have to be on some kind of texture background. So let's go ahead and bring this out. I'm going to reset that pattern. See the background. But I want the background on half the image. And I'm going to do the same thing down here, but I'm going to do it vertical. So whatever I do, I'm going to duplicate it down to this appearance. And I'm going to label this one background. So that way I know what appearance it is and apply that to here. Now we're going to select this one and redefine, so that way, oh, not a problem. We can grab that graphic style and holding Alt, drop it back over the top of that one. Any one of them that have that graphic style applied to them will update. And I'm using everything native to Illustrator. I have not used anything outside Illustrator. The only thing I don't like is this one. Instead of 0.1, let's actually do 0.8. Yeah, I like that better. We're going to redefine. And now that looks much better on the upper one too. Okay. And then I need to be able to show that this is on different backgrounds. So we're going to apply a gray color. So I'm just going to come in here. Under color guides, I want it to tint it. Perfect. And if you don't know what tab that, panel that is, that's this one here, called color guides. So if you have a color swatch selected, you can come in here and do tints, and it automatically does it for you. It also breaks the color, so it's no longer just a gradient of that tint. You can break it out into its own thing, but I want to keep it that color. And then we're going to go fill and charcoal. There's one that's supposed to look like stucco. Is that one there? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Film grain. That's all I needed. Put that behind it. Alright. So now all I have to do is redefine background, and it will redefine the background on anything that I put that on. I'm going to do my default little square here. that will be applied with that. So this is my medium, so it should be in the middle. I'm going to shrink it down. The other thing I should make sure is I turn off these while I'm working with the document. And once I've got it set to where I want it, I'm going to duplicate it. Well, actually, first, should be only that one. Perfect. Then this one, I'm going to double click. Or let's pull it first. Then select it. Yeah, see, that changes them all. You figure out how to just change the one, because it's doing them all. Oh well, I'm going to use this tool. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to turn it to that. So that one gets this. And then this one, that's selected, should be the inside curve. There we go. So what this does is gives me a basic shape to show you what this looks like when you have it wrapped around something. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control K, and I'm going to turn back on transformations. Make sure that this is applied for that one. Duplicate it, and I'm going to shrink it. This one's going to be small. I'm going to make a new one, bring it over, and I'm going to say SM for small, or reprint small. I'm going to shrink it up to where it's about, or scale it up to where it's about a certain size larger than it. Then duplicate it again. Name this one. Spray paint large. Actually, I'm going to label that one XL. Yeah. We're going to do a new one. XL. And then this one's 2XL. Okay. So what we'll do is duplicate. Oh. Doesn't matter. Duplicate again. Bring all these back over. Did not like me doing that. Okay. So what we're going to do is duplicate this. I'm going to turn that darker. Then I'm going to duplicate it over here. And we're going to go completely light with it. Nope, not completely light. A little bit less. All right. I like it. It was simple. So I will go ahead and get this produced for an outside file. Let's go ahead and clone BG2. A couple free extra effects in here. If you are watching this video, great. Free. All right. Because now you know how to. Oh, the one thing I did not do was go back through and make sure these are set to their scales. And Control K, make sure that's on. I really wish those were up there. I do know that in the transformation palette, where'd it go? If you expand the whole palette, nope, it's not that one. That's transparency. I'm at transformation. They do have these, but it's not all three of the tools. They're missing this one right here. So just because that one's missing, I don't really use that panel. I've gotten used to, because I was used to the old way of where I turn them on and off through there by hitting Control K. Alright, yeah, that looks great. In fact, I'm going to take these away. I'm going to make this one full screen. Delete this. Make sure I reset that. They just scaled it. Make sure that this is... And in fact, let's do that. That's cool. I think that's a good one for that one. Now, what sucks is I have not saved. So let's make sure that this gets on the desktop. And a new folder. Actually, put it straight into where it needs to go. Oh, Illustrator. Why is it locked up? Weird. That's right, I labeled it Illustrator Graphic Styles. So I'm going to make a new folder here. It's a GS dash 200415. I did it at 1014. So I'm going to say 1010 and then spray paint. Got to copy it. This Illustrator file will get labeled the exact same thing. All right. No. I hope it just is wigging out like it normally does. I'm patient. I won't click. But this is getting tiring. Yes, PDF compatible. All right. Export JPEG, or I'm sorry, PNG. And 72. White is great. Close and save. All right, so I'm going to do a new one. Another document. 3" by 3" is good. Normally I do it in 4x4. I'm going to do this one 4x4. The reason why I do them at that scale is so that now this one, I'm not going to show any of my panels. This one's going to be a hidden panel one. I'm just going to develop it. And I accidentally made a mistake and dropped a panel off, and it hid. There we go. Appearance. And then graphic styles. Okay, now all my panels are put back away. Center on screen. So this one's going to be like a tune effect. trying to figure out how I can make it, and I'm going to try to figure it out right now. I think I have an idea of what I can do. Okay. Big tune. Alright, so I'm going to do one of my fancy backgrounds that I normally do. So I'm going to find the center of my document. I have smart guides on. And I'm going to draw in the center of that, I'm going to draw a vertical line. And then I'm going to take this line. I'm going to fill it with a stroke temporarily. Just put a black stroke. I'm going to flip this so it's just a black stroke. I'm going to select just this line because it's perfectly in the center of a circle. I'm going to go Effects, Distort, Transform. And then it should be 12 degrees and 36 divided by 12. That's not what I wanted. We'll just rotate the copies until it stops doing copies. That's it. So it gives me that little hula hoop. Then I go, not that expand. Expand appearance. Boom. Now what that did is it gave me all those. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to destroy all appearances. And then I'm going to select a color. This one, global. Boom. And there's probably a quicker way of doing this, but I have found that this is just as fast for me to do it this way than any other way. And I'm going to do a slightly darker blue. These are preset colors that are in the document. All right. Now, because this is a, what would you call it? A live paint, I'm going to expand it. So now it is just these pieces. I don't accidentally have too much in my document. Actually, I could have left it a live paint. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip a mask it. So I'm going to go ahead and draw on this square. Slightly bigger. Make clipping mask. Send it back. I'm going to label that. I'm going to background on my layers. And I'm going to pull this to text. Or GS for graphic styles. And this one I already do know the name. So I'm going to go ahead and back out to here. Create a new document folder. Why is this taking forever? So GS-20 0415 1020. And then this one's Big Tune. Alright. I had to copy that address. Copy. Then open it. Paste it into there. I wish I can skip this. Really wish I could, like, have a default save. And I have to hold shift down when I'm saving to skip the defaults. So if I want to change this, because I'm not changing this, most of the time my documents are all that now. I only don't save it with the PDF compatibilities when the document's going to get really big. So this is another group one that I'm going to build in the group, but I don't need to build this anything separate off of it. But I do need to find a cloudy, bubbly font. And again, the font does not come included with any of my graphic styles. In the future, I'm looking at making fonts. So if you ever find that you want me to make a custom font for you, hit me up. I'm looking at being able to do that. Like I built this one right here called Bluebrad 3D Tilt, which is pretty cool. So it's a color font. Um, it is on clipartgenius.com if you're interested. If you're interested in trying something out, hit me up. I can send you a coupon to get something for free, or there is a competition actually on there right now. I think it's still running. I just had nobody sign up, so I forget when I have things running. Big tune. Nothing caught my eye. Is that Toony? Yeah, that's Toony. Wanted it a little bit more rounded. I want the word tune to be bigger. And I want these O's to be smaller. To emphasize the word tune. Also, I want this halo to be up at the top. And see, it's a little bit too small. I just make it a little bit bigger. Oh, yeah. Perfect. And then colors now. Well, for example, what I need to do now is in the center of this, I'm going to copy the circle. That's why I left it that. And then instead of a stroke, we're going to do a gradient fill in a circle. I'm going to make that white. Okay, and then opacity of the outer one is 0. And I want to bring that over. There we go. Sunray. I think that's it. And so how can I make what I'm imagining right now? Alright, so for the first thing I'm going to do is in my appearance palette, I'm going to set the fill to white. Then there shall be a stroke. And we're going to start setting our colors here. Think like a burnt orange. Do it exactly a color. And make sure it's global. And remove any of the names. Doesn't matter what the name is. And that should be an outer. Oh, that won't. That's right. That won't do that. Okay, let's make it bigger. On top, that's perfect. Go effects path, offset path. I did it 3 points, so it would be 1.5. Rounded. 0.5 point. Makes much more sense now. Then I'm going to duplicate that. And then do black. Instead of offsetting the path. No, actually, keep it offset. Make sure it's round, round. Make sure this one's round, round. Oh, wait. Nope. I just have to say solid. This one can stay that way. Okay, and then, actually, no, that one needs to stay solid too. Okay. Elbows need to stay pointy because there's pointy insides. Then, make this one slightly bigger. Distort, transform, transform. If I did this right, 0.5 pt by 0.5 pt, there should be a drop shadow. 1 pt, 1 pt. Okay, that worked. But instead of horizontal that way, I want a horizontal this way. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, they need some way to crop it because it won't let me do outer stroke when it's a stroke above something. I don't know why. Okay, so first let's fix this because this stroke we want opacity to be multiply at 50%. It's a shadow. Then what I want to do is I don't like that orange. I'm gonna change that. Solid red. Yeah, brighter red. Yeah. Okay, so that looks better. Um, then I'm gonna duplicate this. We're gonna put it beneath the fill. We're gonna do distort transform, just like that, and 0.5 pt, 0.5 pt, because it would be the opposite direction of the shadow. Turn on preview. You notice I like a lot of block text at a 45 too, for that matter, which is fine. Because what I can do is also come into Astute here, and why am I not seeing what I want? There it is. And then we're gonna select the distort transform. Oh, that's the wrong one. Which one is it? I thought it was. Oh, it's this one here. Ah, why isn't it selecting that? Hmm. Yeah, it's not doing what I want it to do. That's okay. Um, I don't want it to look perfect. It's getting there. Then what we need to do is duplicate that exactly. Use black and then opacity at 20, multiply. Oh man, it's so close to being how I want it. All right, so we're gonna duplicate this one, and underneath it, no. Ooh, I just figured out how I can do it. A little bit better. The white will have to be a color. Interesting. Black will have to be a color. Awesome. And then I did this right. I did it right. Awesome. That's looking way better. And then underneath the big stroke at top, just do nothing. We're going to lighten the red. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that big loud noise. Alright, back to this. Store transform. Ooh. Oh. And then what it needs to be is actually lighter in the color. And not so far distorted, or just make it small on the stroke size. Yeah, that worked. Ooh wee, that looks good. So now I should be able to type whatever I want with this. Let's go ahead and make it a graphic style. I'm just gonna start. Let's just do 1, 2, 3 because I don't want the merger of the files. Oh yeah. Control K. Make sure those are on. Okay. Scale down. Scale down. Alrighty. And then scale up. And scale up a little bit more. Give options. Okay. And this graphic style should be usable. Actually, should be that small text. Then your graphic style. And then what we could do is come in here and kind of like wiggle these around a little bit. Oh, that's right. First letter. Do that. And like I said, I never outline the text, so that way you can grab the text if you have the same font, or if you want to know what font was used. I never outline it, but I will get this one in here also. Let me go ahead. Ooh, just realized a mistake. Can't have the mobile typed in like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and make my... I'm just going to do that this one. Why not? Make sure I go in here, turn off that. Alrighty. Then I'm going to go in here, check document, fix all, and now my document is completely clear except for what I need. Alright. I'm glad to have showed you guys a couple more creations for clipartgenius.com. If you see this video, please don't hesitate on clipartgenius.com. I will continue if it already has ended or whatever's going on with it. See if I can get that competition reposted. Make sure it's still running. Because I'd love for you guys to be able to have a chance to get one of these graphic styles completely free of charge. And that way you can test out to see why these are better to use than what you'd normally find on the internet, and why this is a time saver. Because if you're able to get a graphic style, pay $8 instead of spending an hour or 45 minutes trying to figure out how to make that graphic style just because I know how to do it, go ahead, download it, and enjoy. Um, Stay safe, stay creative, and have a great night.